I'm Bev Adams. I'm an independent demonstrator. I'd like to show you this card today. It uses Heartfelt Blooms and the Petal Pear Textured Impressions embossing folders. My cardstock is Pear Pizzazz 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Another layer of Pear Pizzazz. This is 5 1/4 by 4. A layer of Always Artichoke 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And a layer of Whisper White 2.5 by 4. My ink is Pear Pizzazz, and I am going to be coloring just a little bit with the Stampin' Blends. I know we have been told to use Memento ink with the Stampin' Blends, but I have had great results with our regular water-based classic ink pads. So I'm just going to ink up my flower. This is a really detailed image, but it is very subtle. So I'm going to use the Stampin' Blends, the light colors. I'm using Daffodil Delight for the large flower. I want to use the light colors because I just really kind of want to tint it. I don't know if you're old enough to remember they used to tint black and white pictures, photographs this way. And it kind of works the same way, where I'm just adding just a hint of color. I'm not really doing any blending per se, but the blends do not leave lines, so it makes great tinting ink for this. Because I'm coloring over green, I want to be sure not to use inks in the red area, because red and green would mix together to make kind of a brown, and so I want to use colors that will not do that too much. I'm going to use the Light Pool Party. And I am breaking my rule a little bit with the light pink pirouette for these flowers. Taking the chance that I am going to get kind of more of a brownish color. But it does seem to work. Just getting a hint of that color. So I'm just going to adhere this to my Always Artichoke. I'm going to emboss the top of this layer with the flowery petal pear. So I've got the edge of the card at the top edge of the folder. I want to have the edge of the cardstock close to the end on the right side. Bringing in my Big Shot with the Big Shot platform that comes with the machine. A cutting pad, cardstock moved around a little bit, putting that back in, covering that with another cutting pad, and rolling that through. And it has just a beautiful embossing. On my original card, I used some crushed curry ribbon. It's not really the right color for this. We do have some Daffodil Delight in the 1/4 inch double stitched ribbon. And we do have Pear Pizzazz in the 3/8 inch shimmer ribbon. Unfortunately, I don't have either of those colors. For this one, I think I'm going to use some of this Whisper White. That's the classic weave ribbon. I'm getting out my friend's bow maker. She and her husband make these. This bow maker can make bows from anywhere from about 1.5 inches all the way to 4 inches. For my ribbon, I have a piece that's just a little bit longer than my card base, so it's about 6.5 inches. I've cut these with squared off ends. For my bow, I want to make sure to keep track, so I'm cutting this end at an angle. I'm going to cross it. The piece that goes over is going to go under and through and tie a knot. I do want to use my third hand. And I'm just going to lay this 6.5 inch in there and tie a 1/2 knot. And I want all of my ribbons to go side to side. This piece is also part of the bow, so I'm going to cut this one at an angle and just slide my bow off the top. And I can fuss with this bow just a little bit to get it lined up the way I want it. I'm going to put adhesive just under the embossing on both sides. And wrap my ribbon around. And because this isn't really tied, I can slide my bow where I want it. And around the back. And I'm just going to put that on my card base. And some more Stampin' Dimensionals for my stamped image. Putting this layer on the bottom left side, and that's it. I think I like the white ribbon better than the crushed curry. What do you think? If you would like the directions for this card, come on over to bevadams.com. I'll have the direct link right here on the video, and I will also put the direct link on my YouTube page at the bottom in the descriptions. I will also have links to all the products I used on this card. Thank you for stopping by. Talk to you soon.